Absolute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing as the Knicks blow out the Sixers in the first night of a back-to-back, winning 105-91 at MSG. This one was a good finish, a feel-good game when you talk about the Knicks' depth heading into the playoff run. Just 7 games remain. We face Cleveland tomorrow night. But ladies and gentlemen, Mitchell Robinson, Landry Shamet, Tyler Kolek, DeLon Wright chipped in with great team games, team effort, and OG Anunoby continues to ball out. Plus 17, 27 points with 5 rebounds, 2 steals. But Mitchell Robinson on his birthday tonight, 14-14, his best game of the season. Man, he was absolutely beasting tonight. Was Mitchell Robinson. Great to see him have this kind of renaissance. You know, obviously worked his way back and has had a few ups and downs since returning, but Mitchell Robinson is looking real nice right now. And defensively, I think the Knicks were solid. Offensively, funky. Obviously, without Cat, he rested tonight. I like that decision. Rest Cat up. We might not even need Cat tomorrow night, because I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like the 3rd seed is officially a lock right now, because the New York Knicks have 4 games now above Indiana, plus the tiebreaker as well, which is basically like the 5th game. So Indiana would have to gain 5 more games with just 7 to play. So 3rd seed's basically a lock, and we might not even need to play Cat tomorrow night. We'll talk about it tonight. I'll get your thoughts on it. What should we do? But I like the fact that they rested, Cat up tonight in this one. And we've got the fam in the building: Johnny, Chris, Tendrell, Michael Drake, Daniel Berry. What's up, Coach? CC, Space Ghost. And big time effort tonight. A little funky 3rd quarter, but the Knicks obviously weren't playing their best. A little funky with, a comfortable lead that Philadelphia clawed back. Quentin Grimes played hard, and their ragtag roster tonight played hard, but, there was a clear difference in talent, right? As the New York Knicks locked in that 4th and basically ended the ball game in this one. But the New York Knicks, man, up 59-42 at the half, and it's the way we wanted to see them finish it out, right? We had some struggles from Precious Achiuwa, but outside of that, I think most players, performed above average tonight as we dial up the game ball and the grade for tonight. Michael says, CT, big game tomorrow night. I see you. We'll talk about the news with PJ Tucker signing a 2-year contract. Really, the 2nd year is a team option, and the Knicks are making some chess moves in that one. Space Ghost says, good game, but yeah, true, test tomorrow against the Cavaliers, no doubt about it. Chris says, we need Mitch for tomorrow more than today's game, but Mitch did have a great game. Yep, game ball for me, for Mitchie. And, man, play of the game. No doubt about it, this one. With the hop step, fast break, transition. Mitchell Demonson tonight. Man, and basically I want to see him do that on the Cavaliers tomorrow night. And he obviously got the start with Cat resting tonight. And also tomorrow night, going up against the Twin Trees. That is going to be a big-time test. And for our squad. But Mitchell Robinson, man, looks slim, looks nimble, and he was defending the paint really well. I'm going to talk about some great opportunities to put out some defensive lineups with DeLon Wright. That's becoming a story because DeLon Wright is playing more than serviceable right now. And what are your thoughts on his potential? We heard Mike Breen, interestingly, speak on, and Clyde agreeing with him on the call that maybe DeLon Wright gets an opportunity to play playoff minutes, right? tonight was 4 of 7, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 12 points for DeLon Wright, man, in 32 minutes. That's stuffing the stat sheet, man. 12 points, 3 steals, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Right there, fam. Obviously, we are missing Cat, though, for our offense to go to the next level. We've got some stats that we're going to talk about as we are close to concluding the regular season. The New York Knicks, I think, hit the season high tonight. 21 games over 500 now. And the New York Knicks are 8-5 without Jalen Brunson in the 13 ball games that Brunson has missed in this stretch. 48-27, man. But the real test is tomorrow night. Like you guys said, you guys are on point, on fire tonight. I'll tell you why I've given Tibbs a C, right? And I'm going to get the constructive stuff out of the way right now because it was pretty much a good night, a great finish. Looking forward to tomorrow night. But I feel like with what we saw with the competition tonight with Philadelphia, playing basically G League squad, former bartenders out there, this is an opportunity for Tibbs to play more than eight guys. First night of a back-to-back. Still, he played an 8-man rotation. You could have given McCullough a little bit. You could have played Beauchamp. These are the opportunities. These are the perfect times with just 7 games remaining in the season where you can extend your rotation just for a night. You're playing against a G League level squad, but no. Tom Thibodeau sticks with an 8-man rotation as well. And I really, really don't like that. Man, I really don't like that. It doesn't make much sense to me. It's not so much about minutes, right? That's a whole nother conversation. Tonight's not really about minutes. It's why not extend the rotation a bit? 8 men on the start of a back-to-back is crazy, in my opinion. And I always tell it like it is. You got to call it out. And that's why I've given Tibbs a C. Because if you don't, on a night like tonight, if you don't get an opportunity to play more guys, then when are you going to get that opportunity? Guys are down. Like I said, G League squad, Philadelphia. I mean, they're playing their G League squad. You could have played Beauchamp, McCullough, Dardier, Anton Watson. But yeah, that's my my bug for tonight, man. But look forward to tomorrow night. We've got some updates as well. The New York Knicks have officially revealed their playoff tee. Win for the Burrows, ladies and gentlemen. You can cop that if you head to one of the games. CC says it. He should have taken guys out with 7 minutes. Yeah, 100% agree, but yeah, even earlier, I feel. We surveyed, says PJ Tucker, going to get some. I don't think he's going to get many minutes, fam. He's one guy I'm okay without playing. But yeah, some of the other guys I really feel like should have got that opportunity. Yours truly says, salute, blessings to the chat. CT, big up, fam. It's money time. Streets are buzzing. Let's go Knicks. Appreciate that, man. Landry Shamet. It's money time. He is the guy that heard the call from us tonight, man. Landry Shamet with his best game on the season. And Landry off the bench tonight will get the A. Landry Shamet will get an A. If Mitch didn't have the game he had, you could make a case that Landry might be getting a game ball, which would have been crazy to think about earlier in the season. But Mitch gets the game ball tonight, but I'll give Landry the A because he is absolutely phenomenal tonight. 20 points, and basically Landry is shooting 14 of his last 26 from downtown, ladies and gentlemen. 14 of 26 from downtown. Landry Shamet has turned it on at the right time. 6 of 11 tonight with 20 points and a plus 11. So that is big time as well. Obviously, OG's been getting game balls like nobody's business. Tonight, he was solid, plus 17, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 27 points, but 2 of 9 from downtown. So not the best night from downtown for OG. However, the New York Knicks, as a team, we shot 38% to the Sixers 19%. We lost the points in the paint. Adem Bona was given some work to Precious. He was a handful, but 23 assists apiece. The Knicks 10 steals, 18 turnovers to 19. It was sloppy. It was sloppy at one point. But the Knicks won the rebounding, and we won the free throws as well. And 42% from the field apiece. Quentin Grimes finished with 26 points. So those are the team stats tonight. Mitchell Robinson with 2 blocks, turning it on. So yeah, you guys are agreeing with the DeLon Wright stuff. Michael says DeLon Wright, very important for the playoffs. 100. We surveyed 100, says DeLon is a better point guard than Deuce. Interesting. Coaches, I don't think Tucker is here to play. 100% agree with that one. Yeah, DeLon Wright's taken his opportunities. What up, Monkey Wrench in the house? Michael says, CT, now the Knicks look great in the playoffs getting ready. And Chance says, Tibbs hasn't learnt from the past, refuses to develop the bench and put heavy minutes on guys. Just got to call it like I see it, really. I hope things change, but tonight was a perfect night to extend the rotation a little bit. Guys banged up. To me, you just answer what the competition is doing, and they're playing G League guys, and you can't budge on an 8-man rotation. To me, that's just crazy. There's no other way to say it. Tendrell, what's up? Precious Achua, yep. He had the biggest struggle tonight, man, 9% from the field, but he was active. Precious was active, and look, I feel like we're going to talk about it later tonight. I feel like the rotation spots are up for grabs, and that's all I could ask for right now. Guys are competing hard. Landry's minutes are going up. He's trending up. Precious is trending down a little. Tyler Kolek's stock is trending up. DeLon Wright stock is trending up right now. Cameron Payne is kind of idle because he's injured right now. So it ain't up, it ain't down. But is DeLon Wright taking potential opportunities from campaign? I tell you what, man, defense first for me. And I would like maybe the Knicks to entertain a 3-guard lineup. If they do want to play campaign and they're insistent on that, then maybe play campaign together with DeLon Wright. Play Deuce at the 2. DeLon Wright can play the 3 because he's 6'5". Got good wingspan as well. But yeah, Mitch first start of the season, I believe. And 14-14, man, he was absolutely dominant. So you could play lineups with Mitch, Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, DeLon Wright, and Deuce McBride. Man, you'd have teams in a straitjacket as well. You could throw Hart in there as well. You could substitute Hart. You could play another guy. The Knicks got some options, man. I like what I'm seeing from DeLon Wright. Yeah, CC says that Deuce and Wright together on defense is a problem. No doubt about it. Chris says Shamet heating up at the right time. Credit to the point guards. I think they're getting him. If you ask Landry, he'll say that, look, I'm getting shots in rhythm, and I'm getting those opportunities in the pocket. So shout out to our point guards as we bring up the stats, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting. Kolek had 4 turnovers in this one. A lot of them garbage time, but still finished plus 12, right? 7 dimes, once again. That's a real point guard, fam. Whenever your player coming off the bench is team high in assists, that lets you know that he is the best playmaker on this team, right? Hart with 6, Mikal Wright with 4 each. But yeah, 7 dimes from Kolek in 19 minutes. right? He needs more minutes. There's no doubt about it, man. I like the Kolek DeLon Wright tandem, and Tibbs might have a nice headache because what do you do when campaign gets right? Speaking of, we don't even have an update. You know, everyone's kind of been quite silent on the Cameron Payne injury, ladies and gentlemen. So there we have it. OG A, Shamit with an A, B plus for Kolek, Mitchie with the A, game ball. Mikal Bridges, I'll talk about him in a second. A minus. He's been solid. He's been phenomenal since Brunson's been out. Hart with just a regular Hart game. But OG Anunoby, man, his game has gone to another level, no doubt about it. And he is unfortunately unlucky to not win the Player of the Month, fam. But there's some good news is that out east, OG Anunoby was among the nominees. So he's been making waves. OG Anunoby, one of the nominees for Player of the Month, but unfortunately missed out to Kobe White and SGA, putting in that work out west. So that those are the two winners out west as well. Stefan Bondi of the New York Post feels like the Knicks should bring up Moses Brown as well. Shout out to him. He's been the G League Player of the Month for March as well, averaging 23 points, 19 rebounds, while shooting 66% from the field. Now, this ties into the PJ Tucker news, ladies and gentlemen. So, PJ Tucker, just to clarify things, signed a 2-year deal the rest of this season and the playoffs, eligible for the playoffs, and next season as a team option only. So that's a team option. That means that the New York Knicks can non-guarantee, can cut him if they need. But why they've given him the 2-year deal is because it's continuous salary that the New York Knicks can throw in a trade. But it also leaves the door ajar for the New York Knicks to bring someone else up. Reports James L. Edwards of the of the Athletic. New York Knicks waited to get the PJ Tucker signing done to have enough room to sign another vet at the end of the regular season. They would have to release somebody to do it. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks have got PJ Tucker for the playoffs, the rest of the ride this season. Next season, team option only. I see a lot of people flipping out about the 2 years. It's a team option, really. So it's really just a 1-year deal. But the Knicks have enough room now where in the second to last day of the season, they can bring someone else in as well. But they would have to cut someone. Now, a month ago, I would have told you that the Knicks probably going to cut DeLon Wright. But right now, I can't see them cutting DeLon Wright. You know, let us know what you guys think. I can't see them cutting DeLon Wright, man. But Moses Brown is there. Chuma Okeke, TJ Warren said his farewells. He's left Westchester, right? I think it's amicable, but basically the Knicks decided that they're not going to bring him up, and he packed his bags and try to look for another opportunity. But whether it is Moses Brown, I won't be mad if they bring him up, but I can't see them cutting DeLon Wright. And who else could they cut? I mean, they ain't going to cut Precious, right? Two-way players are not eligible for the playoffs, so there's no point. There's no point bringing him in if he's not going to be eligible for the playoffs. So, do the Knicks just stay pat? You know, but there is that possibility that they can bring someone else up. I see someone say they could cut Huck Porty and put Huck Porty back on a 2-way. That's not going to happen either, I don't think, because they've already given Huck Porty a rookie contract now. If you cut that rookie contract and send him back on a 2-way, you know, the rookie contract's already been given out as well. So they're not going to cut Payne. They're not going to cut Shamit. They're not going to cut Precious. It's basically DeLon Wright or nobody. So yeah, I can't see them doing that right now. Salute Paula, AP in the house, buzzer beater. David M says, can DeLon take Cam's spot? In the rotation, I could see that happening. Man. David also says, happy to see Shamit have a good game and very encouraging for the playoffs. 100%. And I'm starting to feel like that we're getting the Shamit that was advertised, and maybe, just maybe, it had to do with the shoulder rehab. You know, for those that had dislocated their shoulder, man, it was basically out of joint. He had the full surgery and everything, and it takes a while as a shooter to get your game back. You know, get the rhythm in, and credit to him, man. He's been putting in the work, and you know, shooters shoot, and they keep shooting, and eventually they'll get in rhythm. And right now, Shamit is hot, like flaming hot. 14 of the last 26 threes right now. As I said, he's trending up, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the chat who is trending up and who is trending down right now. Because the guys that are trending up, I want them to get more minutes. Here's the playoffs. You reward these guys. You give minutes to the guys that are showing up right now. Make it a healthy competition. You know, David says I like Wright's defense too. He's a deflections king. I've been trying to tell people. Tendrell says it as well. He's a deflection machine. Bam. Interacted with a lot on Twitter, X. You know, showed him some love as well. Back when my trade reaction hit in February, he showed some love back as well. So, you know, he is showing us that he's a veteran. You know, he's been around the league for 10 years for a reason. And he's always been in the top 10 in the league in deflections for his whole career, basically. This ain't an aberration. I'm just envisioning these defensive lineups where you've got Wright, point of attack, Deuce, Bridges, OG, and Mitchell Robinson. Man, it's like Fort Knox out there. Buzz and Johnny in the building says Shamit good shooting. Will he remain consistent? If he's getting set up. You know, I gave props to the point guards. We're going to continue to give them some love. 7 dimes from Kolek. Team high off the bench. You know, him and his synergy with Bridges, we've seen has been excellent. But his synergy now with Landry Shamit has been solid. And I'm sold. Tyler Kolek should be the point guard coming off the bench. Now, whether you want to play him alongside Payne, I'm okay with that. But whatever happens, I need Kolek together with Shamit. And I need Kolek as much minutes with Macau, if possible. If possible, fam. So yeah, for those that are just joining us, the New York Knicks can add one more body on the final week of the season, but they'll have to cut someone. And Stefan Bondi says he feels like the Knicks should bring in Moses Brown. Now, I don't think he's heard anything specifically, but he feels like Moses Brown deserves a call-up. But right now, you've got Mitch playing out of his mind, Cat resting those knees, Huck Porty. Hopefully he gets back, but we don't know. You know, that's still unknown. And you got Precious Achua, who is struggling a bit offensively, but still gave us 8 rebounds and 2 points plus 8. Right? OG Anunoby playing phenomenal basketball right now. The ball movement was excellent tonight. And we got into that little funk in the third. But I think the Sixers turned it up defensively. And we just basically missed some shots and got a little bit sloppy. I also agree with Chris here. Wright is a good defender and can occasionally hit that open J, but he don't look to shoot enough. That could be a problem in the playoffs, you know. But I did see him at times drive, and he was looking for the floater. But yeah, he does need to look for that shot a lot more. And yeah, he's been shooting the 3 quite solid as well. Shez V, Shamit stepping up. Could be like a new acquisition, you know. That could be like the TJ Warren that people have been hitting us up and talking about it all over the world, coast to coast. Where the hell is TJ Warren? Well, the New York Knicks invested in Landry Shamet all season after the surgery, and right now he's paying them back. He's repaying them. He's repaying the faith in spades, fam, in spades, right now. Buzzer says, CT, who do you want the Knicks to sign? Right now, I would like us to bring in Moses Brown, but like I said, fam, a month ago I would have said cut DeLon Wright because Tibbs ain't playing him. But right now, DeLon showed that when he's played, he can perform, and so you need to keep him on the roster for the playoffs. Let's say Payne hurts his ankle, or let's say JB misses any time. Well, DeLon Wright's a guy you're gonna need, fam. Do we really need a Moses Brown? That's the story as well. Mitch is healthy. Cat's healthy. I mean, I tell you what, if Precious was on a minimum contract, maybe there's a chance they'd cut Precious, but he's on $6 million, and I don't see that happening because he's been with us a minute. And so I'm going to predict we just say status quo, fam. That's going to be my prediction right now because, yeah, you just can't cut DeLon Wright. I think that would be a puzzling move. And El Tango, can we cut Watson? Well, we can, but there would be no point because Watson's on a two-way, and Moses Brown being on a two-way wouldn't be playoff eligible. So there's no point. There's no point making a move. I'm talking about the final veteran roster spot that's playoff eligible. The two-way guys are not playoff eligible, fam. So it'll have to be a main roster guy that gets cut for us to do anything, I think. But we've made our move. It's PJ Tucker up in here, fam. Is this a totally different team than the one that got beat by Cleveland and Boston earlier this season? Asks Buzzer Beater. Great question again, fam. Yeah, I think so. I think there's growth. I think there is a team that has found a spark off the bench now. I think this is a team that has Mitchell Robinson playing the best basketball of the season, and he wasn't obviously available earlier in the season in those games. I think we're seeing a better version of Mikal Bridges, fam. I think we're seeing OG Anunoby playing at another level since those games. I think Tyler Kolek is giving this team a bit of a spark as well. It'd be interesting to see him go head-to-head with like a Peyton Pritchard off the Celtics bench and see those two white boys go to battle as the backup point guards. I think this team, yeah, top to bottom, is in a better position outside of Jalen Brunson being hurt, outside of Deuce McBride being hurt right now. So I think that is the play, fam. That is the big story heading into tomorrow night as well, fam. Will Cleveland play their starters? I'm going to predict on both sides that it's going to be a bit of gamesmanship, a bit of back and forth, a bit of mixing and matching some lineups. What I mean by that is I won't be shocked to hear that the Knicks sit Karl Anthony Towns, right? I don't think they were sitting him tonight just so that they can play him tomorrow. I genuinely believe that, they're looking out for his knees, and I genuinely believe there's no need to play him tomorrow night as well. For those that missed it earlier, just joining us, and we're going to pull up the standings right now because the New York Knicks have four games plus the tiebreaker on the pacemakers, right? And so as I refresh this one, 4 games up over Indiana, 7 to play, plus the tiebreaker. The third seed's a lock, man. The third seed is a lock. The New York Knicks would have to lose every game, basically, and the Pacers would have to win every game for them to claim the third seed. Basically, the Knicks only need to win 1 maybe 2 more games for the rest of the journey over the next 7, right? And so tomorrow night, I'm not sweating the result. I would like the Knicks to show that they mean business and that they can beat the Cavaliers, but at the same time, the game doesn't mean anything in the standings. The game doesn't mean anything in terms of the playoffs haven't begun. So yeah, that's where I sit. That's where I sit, guys, based on tomorrow night. I want us to play hard, whoever plays, and show that we can hang and belong versus the Cavaliers. It is on the road as well, and the New York Knicks are 22-15 on the road, now on a 2-game win streak, 6-4 over the last 10. And basically, tomorrow night, is an opportunity to gain some more confidence. But I think in regards to health, and I think in regards to players that need a rest, I think do the smart decision. So yeah, Huck Porty's on the roster, fam. He's on the rookie contract now. Cardiac salute. As Buzzer says, it's money time. Hashtag. Cardiac CT, would you rather play the first round Pistons or the Bucks? Bucks all day. Bucks all day, fam. I mean, without Dame, Kuzma, putting Brook Lopez in the blender with the drop coverage, I think that's the most favorable matchup for us. The Pistons, it's going to be physical. It's going to be up and down. They're a 3-point heavy team, and our 3-point defense would get tested. However, I think the Bucks, it'd be over in 5, fam. Knicks in 5, legit. And I'm respecting the opponent. I respect the Bucks, what they've been able to accomplish, especially over the last few years. But right now, man, they ain't the same Bucks right now. Not let alone there's no Middleton, but Brook Lopez is aged, and you also got no Bobby Portis on suspension for the anti-doping, and then you've also got Damian Lillard out with blood clots right now. The Bucks are a series where Jalen Brunson could be resting, and we could still win the series. I'm not saying we would win, but we could still win without Jalen Brunson. Any other team above them, and I would think that it would be a struggle, so I definitely take the Bucks, fam. J.I. Salute says, I agree with what Clyde was saying tonight. We can't go into Cleveland and get blown out. Who am I to argue with Clyde? And I agree, I think it is important that we are competitive. But I'm just saying it's not like imperative that we win. But yeah, just don't get blown out, And if we do have to play some guys that are rest some guys that are banged up, I'd be okay with that. Let's say you wanted to rest OG. Maybe we look at what Cleveland do. Maybe if they rest a couple of guys, maybe that's an opportunity to let Tyler Cole keep playing. Maybe that's an opportunity to let DeLon Wright keep playing. Second night of a back-to-back. Does Mitchell Robinson play tomorrow night? Does he play heavy minutes? Again, remember, we want him healthy. Don't forget what the main prize is the playoffs. If a guy goes out tomorrow and gets injured with the 3rd seed basically locked up, that would be catastrophic. And so, yeah, I'd like us to just play it cool, give some guys some minutes, and maybe Tibbs can go, hey, I'm going to use this opportunity to put a couple of guys to battle it out, for some minutes. We'll see what happens out here. Ronald says Precious seeing ghost out there. I think he needs... Precious is a confidence player, and when he was playing 30, 40 plus minutes, he was a guy that was looking better in rhythm. But now he's having to adjust to less minutes, and it's a bigger adjustment. Just ask guys like Kolek, who used to coming in with scraps, with like four minutes left in the ball game and things like that, having to produce. Play of the night, man, is simple. Mitchell Robinson on his birthday, right? And it takes a lot because OG Anunoby, which we're going to look at in a minute, was the second best play of the night. But Mitchell Robinson got a little bag. We've seen it over the years at times, but he can run with the best of them at his size right now, throwing that down. But that just speaks to the conditioning that Mitch is in right now. Because remember, 2 years ago, Mitch ain't doing this, right? He's probably an extra 15 pounds heavier, and he ain't that light back then. Right now, he is. And look how quick he gets down. Couple of dribbles, hop step, Euro step, and throws that one down, fam. So I'm going to hit on a few stats, then we'll look at OG's play and continue to shout you guys out. Preview tomorrow night. Smash that like button. It's money time. The streets are buzzing. Seasons with 100 threes from a big man. Karl Anthony Towns now is leading the NBA history. Only 5 players or more than 5 seasons with 100 threes by a center. So when Cat says I'm the best 3-point big man, he means it, man. So shout out once again to Karl Anthony Towns. Missed tonight, resting. Got the knee ailment. Next up, the New York Wildcats, which is basically the Villanova guys together with the Kentucky Wildcat, Karl Anthony Towns, together averaging a combined 82.4 points per game this season. They have the best offensive rating by any 4-man lineup in the league with a minimum of 1,050 minutes. So the New York Wildcats, those 4 guys together with any other guy in the lineup combined for 82 points and the best offensive rating by that 4-man lineup in the league, right? So that speaks to how close we are to competing for a championship, ladies and gentlemen. Who is that 5th guy to play with those guys, man? OG Anunoby, Deuce McBride, Mitch. There's many different combinations. Kolek even. There's options moving forward, man. I'm looking forward to the summer and seeing, this team continuing to evolve. But there's more to that. According to StatMoves, the only players in NBA history to average 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 threes in a season. Only these 3 guys, man. You got DeMarcus Cousins, you got Kevin Love, and you've got Karl Anthony Towns. So shout out to this one. Shout out to Cat as well. 20 points a game, 12 rebounds, and 2 made threes. There's only 3 players in history to average that in a season right now. So big time season that Cat's had, man. But game ball tonight goes to money making Mitch in this one. Yeah, we're 4 games up on the Pacers. Huck Pority, sorry I don't have any new updates for you, fam. He's on the bench. He's repairing from the meniscus tear, which is a significant injury. It's not nothing light. It's he had a procedure. You don't want to play around with that. But I do think that recovery-wise, on terms of the timeline, he should be good to go around the start of the playoffs. Basically. Yeah, 100% agree with you, Cardiac. Let Cat rest and get his knees right for the playoffs, fam. Yeah. Use these 7 games to battle it out for some extra minutes. Huck Porty is on the playoff roster, fam. He's on the team. He's on a real contract. So he ain't going nowhere. But whether or not he's going to be healthy, is remaining to be seen. Right, we don't have an update from the club yet, unfortunately. I wish I could tell you, but we don't have an update from the club. Like I said, meniscus tear, it's tricky. But based on the 4 to 6 week timeline they gave us, he should, in theory, be ready for the playoffs. Is EJ going to join us for the playoffs? Hopefully, fam. I'm going to reach out to EJ, and I'm sure he'll make an appearance, no doubt. I'm sure he'll stop by if he can't stay for long. Birthday Mitch tonight, cardiac, 14 and 14. Yep, he was big time. Now, OG Anunoby. This would have won Player of the Night if it wasn't for Mitchie, but close second, maybe a tie. OG, man, this was absolutely phenomenal, man. Latrell Sprewell-esque right now. He's playing with force, and you like to see it because OG can always do this, but he's been playing timid at times. At times, he's kind of like been passive, doesn't really like to get to the paint so much, in the last 12 months in terms of shooting the corner three, passing it out, cutting backdoor and all of that. But now his drives over the last 15 games is just really gone up a notch right now, and he's playing with physical force as well. I can't wait to see tomorrow night if he gets meaningful minutes. Right, he should. He's not on any restriction right now, but of course the games are less meaningful. Like I said, OG played 33 tonight, so that's okay. Hart played 32. Mitchie played 20, so that's good. So say what you want about Precious. Precious playing heavy minutes tonight allowed Mitch to stay at 20, which could mean that he plays heavy minutes tomorrow. So that is a plus. DeLon Wright, 32 minutes. Man, 4 of 7. I think 3 of the most underrated stories right now, guys. Underrated is in putting aside OG, putting aside, the Mitchie situation, is Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek's play. DeLon Wright has been somewhat of a revelation, you could say, right? People wanted him cut. People said he got no game. People said, what are we doing? Cut Wright. Well, he's definitely shown that he belongs. And the third story is Landry Shamet. So that's 3 underrated guys, storylines that are trending up for the New York Knicks. Now, it's kind of a blessing and a curse because you don't get this if Payne is healthy, if Deuce is healthy, if JB is healthy. You might not get to see this renaissance, but now we are. And shout out to those guys putting in the work. And no one's clowning our bench production right now, fam. Look at our bench production. Kolek with 7 points. Landry Shamet with 20. Precious Achiuwa with 2 points. But like I said earlier in the show, I criticized Tibbs for playing 8 men tonight. It should have been a 9-man rotation going up against the G League Sixers, right? As an organization, these are the opportunities that you should utilize to play rookies and give them an opportunity, right? Especially when you're going up against another G League team, right? I'm not saying start them, but if you're playing an 8-man rotation against one of the worst teams in the league, that's asinine, right? That's asinine to me. There's no reason Marjon Beauchamp or Kevin McCullough shouldn't have been playing more minutes. Michael Drake says, will you have a stream with Billy Daughtry for the playoffs? Absolutely. I feel like we will. Going to hit my man Bill up, and we're going to be talking to some other people as well. So yeah, stay tuned, fam. I'm excited. And yeah, Bill's always happy to come on and chop things up with us as well. So it'd be great to hear from the man. So yeah, in terms of Huck Porty right now, I feel like depending on his health could determine what they do with Moses Brown. Those two things might be tied together in terms of if Hux feels like he's going to be a factor and be healthy for the playoffs as insurance, then there's no need to go out and cut DeLon Wright and bring in Moses Brown. Right? I'm not saying they're going to do that anyway, but really there's no case to do that unless Huck Porty, you feel like he might not be back. Because if we do get one injury to one big man in the playoffs, that leaves us a little thin right now. But if Huck Porty is healthy and are able to go, then you're okay. Brother Brook Lopez, been one of the great underrated players in the league for years. Past his prime now, but yeah, that speaks to the question earlier about with Cardiac's question about who I want to play in the playoffs or who would I rather play. It would definitely be the Bucks because Brook Lopez has really dropped off, and when you're talking about guys like guys that are ready to mix it up with Detroit, man, B. Stew, Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, and the shooters out there with Tim Hardaway and Malik Beasley. I don't want to see the Pistons. So right now, things are falling in our favor, and I'm happy about that. As we take a look at the action tonight, the Timberwolves locked into a Western Conference battle with the Nugs, and the Bucks pull out the win over the Suns. So that was a much-needed win for the Milwaukee Bucks, but little consequence for us. Memphis losing actually has good consequences for the New York Knicks because our lone draft pick is coming via the Memphis Grizzlies in the second round. The more games that they lose, the better that it is for us, fam. So the Grizzlies now have the 5th record in the West. And taking into consideration the East records as well, the New York Knicks are selecting in the 53rd spot with the second round pick coming from the Memphis Grizzlies. So hopefully they can slide a few more spots, fam. The Warriors are just half a game from catching. If the Timberwolves win as well, there's a chance that they could also climb over the Memphis Grizzlies, who also fired their coach not too long ago. So let's factor in that as well. The Memphis Grizzlies might be on a slide. If we can get in the top 50 of the draft, I think the Knicks could find a nice diamond in the rough, like they have before, man. So that is how things are playing out with the Eastern Conference now. The New York Knicks are full 4 games up on Indiana with the tiebreaker. So they would have to win 5 games on us with 7 to play. That ain't going to happen. The New York Knicks are basically locked in that 3rd seed. And if we win tomorrow night, it'll be all but guaranteed. We can also celebrate. Doug Fresh, salute to you. Buzzer Beater says, I like Wright over Cam. I think both offer something different. It really is a tough decision. I like Wright. I'm kind of like up and down on Cam. It's like his play. I'm up and down. Cam is that lightning rod. He can get you going, hit a couple of threes. He can also shoot you out of a game as well. One maybe skill set that I'm going to tell you that might separate the two that Tibbs could be looking at is defense. Right. Cam plays solid defense and he gets up in your grill and he's a pest. But DeLon Wright is a better on-ball defender, in terms of off-ball as well. Steals, deflections. He's a deflections king. And I think that could be a swing skill that could separate the two, fam. But you could also say that Cam Payne has a better 3-point stroke. But also DeLon Wright's been knocking down the open shot. So, yeah, it is a situation that could be interesting, no doubt. Lonnie salute. OG is realizing his power and strength. 100%. He is a guy that is definitely making more of an effort to drive, take it strong to the rack, get fouled, finish with a big monster poster jam. It ignites the crowd. It ignites everyone, man. And right now, man, 27, 5 and 2, 2 steals. He's playing like one of the best two-way players in the NBA, man, over this last 20 game stretch as well. There we see the bench together. The vibes seem to be really meshing and gelling. PJ Tucker, I know he's not going to play. It's still controversial to use him as the signing, but if it keeps the locker room vibes, calm, it keeps things going for the playoffs, then I think we could have done worse. We'll see how it ends, fam. But this jam, from OG Demon Obi with the heavy slam, get out of the way. AP says, I'm not worried about Detroit. I like that confidence, AP. Have you gained more confidence? You sound more confident. I feel like this team is, like Buzzer asked earlier, it's a different team than we saw earlier in the season against Cleveland and Boston. Now, are they going to be good enough? Obviously, we're going to find out real soon. I'm excited for the playoffs now. This regular season's been fun, but it's been a roller coaster ride. And I'm ready to get down to the business end of the season, right? If it happens to be the Bucks, I think that'll be fortuitous. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to lie. I think if the Knicks get the Bucks, that's the best possible scenario that we could have hoped for in the first round, right? And I think you have to take that, you have to acknowledge that, and you have to come out and say, all right, we're going to end this series early, right? We are the better team, and we're not going to use up extra energy playing 6 or 7 games. We're going to end it in 4 or 5, I think. You have home court, you win the first 2 at MSG, and then you go to the Fiserv Arena with confidence in Milwaukee, and you try to win one of those 2, and then you come back to MSG for game 5, and you close them out, right? And you'll probably be lucky to get another 4, 5, 6 day break. If you end that series in 5, you might be able to get an extra break, fam, because with some of these other series, right, man, Pacers, Pistons, that could be underrated series of the playoffs for the first round. I think that is going to be excellent. I like to see Celtics versus the Hawks, right? See what Dyson Daniels can do, how disruptive he can be. But the second round, it's going to be, if the Knicks advance from the 3rd spot, it's going to be the winner of the Celtics and the Hawks, right? Now, the Orlando Magic might be able to pass the Hawks. We'll wait and see. They are just half a game back of the ATL Hawks. It doesn't look like the Hawks can catch the Bucks, so it doesn't matter how many more games the Bucks lose. They've still got a 5-game cushion on the Hawks. All they got to do is win 1 or 2 more games, I think, and that should be enough. The Hawks, though, will have to play the play-in. The winner of the Hawks and the Magic will get the 7 spot. The loser will face the winner out of the Heat and the Bulls. So the loser of the Hawks Magic will face the winner out of the Heat Bulls. I think the Heat Bulls could be a toss-up. It just depends on what kind of Chicago you get. I could see them upsetting the Heat. And I could also see the Magic defeating the Hawks as well. What do you guys think? AP says Chicago makes the play-in. Yep. So the East has their teams. Buzzer says Detroit has nothing to lose. That makes them dangerous. They're a real 3-point shooting team, and they're physical. They're physical defensively. That's a mix, a recipe that's going to thrive, I think, in the playoffs. You need to be a comfortable 3-point shooting team, and so that you know your identity, but you're also physical, and you can mix it up for the playoffs. Also, like AP says, we got playoff Jalen MJ Brunson. That's a good reason to be confident. I ain't gonna lie, man. Brunson compared to MJ last playoff run, those two were in elite company together with the games that Brunson had 40-point games in the playoffs. Definitely. Like Tendrell says, the last 2 games of the season, the Bucks and the Pistons are going to play against each other. That should be really interesting. Yeah, that will be. That will be interesting. There is a few storylines still to play out. Right, the Celtics. There's a small chance they could catch the Cavaliers. Maybe starting tomorrow night. If we give Cleveland an L, there might be a possibility at that. We'll find out. But I do think Pacers are right there in 4, unless the Pistons can catch fire. But then again, it'll be basically the reverse order, the same matchup. The big thing to look out for is, did the Magic surpass the Hawks? And do the Bucks find a way to move up to the Pistons? That is potential. I can't see the Pistons losing more games than the Bucks from here on out, but it just could be a bit of gamesmanship. You don't know. Maybe the Pistons fancy us instead of the Pacers, and maybe they would like to drop down. That would be insane. Remember all the talk from Philadelphia last playoffs where Paul Reed says, we wanted the Knicks. They were the favorable matchup. And remember what we did to them? Imagine if Detroit did the same thing. If Detroit said, we like the Knicks, we like that matchup, we'll fall down to the 6th spot. That'd be crazy if they did that. But either way, they're going to have their hands full against the Pacers or us. Whichever one plays out. Like Michael says, never bet against the Brun God. Never bet against that man. Hopefully he's in the lab healing up as well. And he's going to come out like a man on a mission. Will I be doing a player by player matchup breakdown on each Knicks playoff opponent? 100%. Definitely, man. I'll definitely be doing that. We'll be locking in. Right. It's money time, fam. Who's been the disappointment and the biggest surprise team? The biggest disappointment for me in terms of the on our team. Sorry, I misread that. Fam. Who's been the biggest disappointment and surprise on our team? I'll just pull up the whole roster right now. For the season, I'm going to say the biggest disappointment has probably been Mikal. I think still Mikal, because I don't think you could say anyone else has been as disappointing in terms of expectation. Based on expectation, I would still say Bridges. Who's been the most surprising? I would say, man, it's a toss-up. I would probably say between Tyler Kolek, DeLon Wright. Tyler Kolek and DeLon Wright right now. Everyone else, I kind of knew what I was getting. I knew what I was getting in Huck Porty, even before the season began. I knew what I was getting from Precious. I knew what I was going to get from Shamet. Shamet's starting to come good now, but my expectations weren't very high. Mikal Bridges' expectations were very high. Now, right now, Mikal Bridges is not disappointing. He's playing well. But if you ask me my season disappointment overall, I definitely feel like he started the season, slow. In terms of Georgie's disappointment, says Precious. Yep, I could agree. It's just I didn't put a lot of expectations on Precious. I was actually quite down on Precious after the playoffs last year against Indiana. Um, and one of the bad memories I have of Game 7, and that's something I never want to relive, because that was a tough night. Losing a Game 7 at MSG against Indiana. But one of the reasons I was most disappointed is, yeah, Precious didn't step up. Hart was banged up. OG was trying to give it a go. JB was banged up. And Precious got destroyed against Pascal Siakam that night. And so, yeah, my expectations for Precious weren't very high. AP says, I'm not worried about Brunson. I'm worried about everyone else. Look, it's going to be a test because defenses step up. Thibodeau is going to be fully evaluated, right? Make no mistake, right? All the people talk about Tibbs, should he stay, should he go, the minutes, should he play certain guys, all of that might even be secondary to how does Tibbs coach? Does he get out coached? Does he come up with good adjustments? What is his defensive and offensive schemes like when other teams get to see you? Best of 7. Like I said, the minutes, all of that might not even be a conversation because it's the playoffs. Everyone's going to play heavy minutes. But how does Tibbs coach against a guy like JB Bickerstaff, against a guy like Doc Rivers, a guy like Joe Mazzulla? He's going to be under the spotlight. Is Tibbs. Does he pull the right strings? Does he make good adjustments? Does he make a brave call if a guy is killing us? A guy is just not locked in, or a guy is just shooting us out of a game. Does he make a tough decision? I don't envy an NBA coach. It's a tough gig, but this is the big league, and the playoffs is the big stage right now. I could just see Tibbs playing OG 46 minutes, as our best defender. I could see him playing Mikal Bridges 45 minutes. I could see him resting Cat still because, there are moments of the game where Cat just looks, tired, and, he's a 7-footer. Mitch comes in. I think that'll be fine. I think Tibbs will have the center rotation tandem worked out quite well, because he does get those substitutions in and out. But what does he do with the wing, and what does he do with the backcourt? How much does he rock with Deuce? Does he rock with Deuce over Campaign? Does he, how many minutes does he play Bridges with the bench unit and Brunson? How long does he keep him out of the ball game? All of those are going to be the biggest questions, fam. Is he coaching for his job? I would say no, in just a one-word answer. I would say no, because I feel like he's got a bit, in terms of if he's coaching for his job, then he's on the hot seat. I don't think he's quite on the hot seat yet with Leon, because, we're the 3rd seed and we are 50 plus wins. Next season, if he gets brought back and we underachieve in the playoffs, then he'll be coaching, I think, for his job. But I think right now, I think he's relatively safe in the eyes of Leon. If we lose in the first round, then his seat will be warm, hot, whatever it is, and then he'll be coaching for his. I think right now, I think he's pretty safe. AP also agrees with Mikal. I expected more from him. Like the last 5 to 10 games, that's the Mikal I was expecting. And if he was like that all season, it wouldn't be a disappointment. But yeah, he's starting to come good. He's starting to come good at the right time, which is great for us. Maybe those comments, that incident where he talked about, playing the bench more minutes, which I think Monica McNutt clarified on the 7 p.m. to Brooklyn podcast. Mikal Bridges' quotes were really about, hey, Tibbs, just trust the bench more because those guys are good. Those guys can play. And we all see it right now. He was true. He was right. DeLon Wright can play. Tyler Kolek can play. Landry Shamet can play. And that's all Mikal Bridges was trying to say, I think, to Tibbs. He was like, hey, you ain't got to play me 49 minutes, in overtime. Right. Play these guys a little bit more. So I think, look, I'm encouraged now over the last stretch. 8-5 without Jalen Brunson. Other guys got opportunities to step up, and they're taking those opportunities right now. Mitchell Robinson, Landry Shamet, and Tyler Kolek, and DeLon Wright. That's 4 guys that have stepped up most recently, and who knows how much higher they can go, right? They're locked in. This team's got talent, man. Like I told you, I wasn't really worried about the TJ Warren situation, PJ Tucker, Moses Brown. Those guys aren't going to factor in much, because if we are to win a championship, the guys that we currently play have to play better. It's not playing somebody else. It's the guys that we have just had to play better. And it was a little bit of a funk on the West Coast. And right now, though, the New York Knicks are locked in to the playoff mode. And it's definitely money time. And money-making Mitch takes the game ball tonight, right? What has he got for Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen tomorrow night? That is going to be sweet. I can't wait to see it. Would I play Cat? Would I rest him? I would probably lean towards resting Cat. I'm not going to lie, man. Rest those knees up. We don't need to win. Rest him for the playoffs. And I think Karl Anthony Towns will be back looking great, nimble. And I think a rest will do him well. Looks like the 3rd seed is ours, ladies and gentlemen. The streets are buzzing. Orange and blue skies right now. It's going to be a 50-plus win season for the 2nd year running. And it's money time. That's what we do this for right now. Do we play the Bucks, the Pistons, whatever it is, I'm ready. We have home court. Guys are playing their best basketball right now. We just got to get some guys back from injury. And it's coming right now. It's coming soon to a screen near you. Peace to the chat. Appreciate you. And many blessings. Let's get it tomorrow night. Post-game after Cleveland. We'll be chopping it up. If the Knicks can get a win, it'll definitely be clinched for the 3rd spot. Peace, everyone.